Welcome to Limited Time Only.
I'm Esther.
And I'm Susie.
Limited Time Only is the podcast for anyone who feels there aren't enough hours in their life.
And each week there's a different topic for you to get your ears around.
Featuring chat, comedy sketches and interviews with interesting people.
Limited Time Only is a pick-me-up in podcast form.
The special guest later in the episode is FELIX MACKENZIE-BARROW. This week it's time for band practice. Sign up now for the LTO newsletter for details of our first live gigs later this year. The link is in the show notes. The newsletter is infrequent and of manageable length, don't you know?
Okay, I'm recording.
So am I.
No, only for you.
Yes, let's talk about bands. Rubber band.
Not rubber bands, Esther.
Okay.
Did you get... Oh, maybe I should have sent you my notes for this.
I
It's gonna
researched
be
the
a
wrong
bit of a
stuff.
different chat, isn't it?
Oh, shit. Oh, God. For the love of God, I thought we were talking about rubber bands. I've researched the entire history of the rubber band.
Well,
I've got
do you know
ordered
what?
a selection in different colours.
We can save that for another episode.
Okay.
Maybe we'll come back for season 6 with rubber band.
Yeah, and I'll take it.
Like I'm bouncing back to you.
I'll save it for my specialist subject on Mastermind when we get to that
Fantastic.
stage.
We will look forward to that. But in the meantime, we have got an actual rock star as our guest this episode. So I thought we could talk about bands. Have you ever been in a band, Esther?
I was asked to be in a band a couple of times. End of story. No, and I didn't because I bottled it. But I'm sure my friends and I, Hayley, Hazel and Mel, decided to set up a band. I'm sure we discussed this because Hayley's brother Ryan was in a band. And I remember Hayley had a big house, like a farmhouse, and the top floor was completely sort of like, it was a beautiful house, but the top floor there were like 4 bedrooms and they just were unused. It was just untouched. So Hayley's brother Ryan would do band practice up there, and we would go up there. And sometimes, and they were 2 years above us, boys 2 years above us at school. So we just want to, we want to be cool like those boys. But I do remember, and I'll have to check with the girls, but I'm sure we called ourselves Sweet Jane or something after the Velvet Underground. And I remember us singing Sweet Jane, Pretty Jane, Sweet Jane, Pretty Jane over and over. I'm sure we discussed making a band, but as none of us can play an instrument, it was a bit flawed. And I remember my friend Hazel saying she wanted to be like the Lenny Kravitz drummer because she was a very cool girl. Oh, yeah. But no, I tentatively was going to be in bands and then just backed out. What about you?
Similarly discussed being in a band. My friend Eleanor and I decided that we would have a band called Who's That Bold Guy? Can't remember why.
No.
I think it was the time of slightly funny things. Like Who Might Be Giants? They might be. Who might be giants?
Yeah.
They might be giants.
They might be giants.
I might be giant. He might be giant.
Who's that bald guy?
There you go. It works in that sort of realm. But we never got anywhere. I mean, I think her, again, similarly, she had brothers. One a couple of years older and one a couple of years younger, in fact. But they were both quite good musicians. Certainly the younger one was. But I mean, I did play instruments, but none of which would really fit in a rock band. I mean, trombone.
Well, my friend Hazel,
we're very posh then. Trombone.
Trombone. My friend Hazel, her husband played in a band, and it was really cool. I remember going to see them, and it was like a band with like a full full glass, a full brass section, and like a proper big band, full brass section. I wrote my pop shield keeps swinging.
Giving up.
It's given up. It's dying. It needs to be a new one for Series 6. And that's electric when you get in front of a band like that. And I did want to be in a band, and I
If you watch this on YouTube, Esther's pop shield just keeps flopping down.
It's tight. It's like tightened as tightly as it can be. I'm just going to have to hold the base of it. But I did want to be in a band, and my family and I sometimes discuss if we were in a band, what would we be? I would definitely be front woman.
You would be lead singer, yeah.
I'd be the Mick Jagger. Sorry, this is ridiculous. The pop shield keeps slipping. I'd be I'd be up front. I'd want to be up front, but it'd be cool to play a guitar as well. I would never want to be the drummer because I wouldn't want to be at the back.
No, you want to be. Well, what about Phil Collins?
Oh, well, yes. Good old Phil. Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to have. The only thing with a drum kit is you have to always be surrounded by perspex.
Yes.
If you were at the
true.
front, you'd have to be because you're just too loud. I think that's
I am.
probably is.
I am
isn't it?
too loud. Yeah, I am too loud.
Why don't you just play? Why don't you just have a one-woman band? Do it all.
Why don't with a one of those sort of things where you like kick your leg and it makes the drum go and all of that?
The harmonica just sort of attached to a thing that looks like a neck brace.
Yeah, that could work. It might take a few years worth of practice to get there.
I think you can just rock up and just improv.
I think I've got such natural rhythm. Yeah, I think.
I still believe that's how playing instruments works. That if I truly believe I can play it, and I've realised over a long, long time that probably that isn't the case. I mean, I pick up the violin thinking I've been playing this a little while now. I should be able to play Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Okay.
Oh, really?
Oh God. No, it's hard. It's hard. It takes a lot of practice, doesn't it?
It does, and it's one of those things that's constantly on my to-do list. One day I'll learn the language. One day I'll learn the piano. And I remember sitting with my grandmother, and she would sit at the kitchen table, and she would say, "Oh, I wish I'd learnt the piano." And then she'd sit and she would pretend to play the piano at the table and put her hands on the thing. And I remember thinking, sometimes you find yourself thinking, well, I won't do that now. And then I think, I'm only 47. Like, if I live to be 87, I've got 40 years. And so I've got plenty of time.
I've just started playing the violin about, a few years, just a couple of years ago. And I have to admit to not practicing a huge amount. But I did do an in-person, I like saying that this week, in-person interview. No, I played it in front of a panel of 6 people at an audition recently.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, that was a baptism of fire.
Yeah.
Kudos, yes. I feel glad that I had the chutzpah to kind of go, yes, I can play that. I mean, I can play it, but just not brilliantly.
Yeah.
But I gave it a good old go. And now I've done it once. I think I could do it again. But I do love that when bands have unusual instruments.
Well, I think. Yeah, and I think for me, I feel like you've opened me up because last year we obviously had Sam Sweeney on the podcast, but we actually went to see him for your birthday in London last year. Now, I think of you as like pop, folk, classic. Those are the genres of music that come into my head, the things that you talk about that you like. And I would say I'm more like funk and soul, house music. I do like classic. I like chill music as well, and that kind of stuff. And I would never have classed myself as a folk music gal. It's just not the sort of thing I would listen to. And we went to see Sam Sweeney. Oh my God, it was like every cell in my body came alive. Aww. I felt, even now I want to cry. What the
Esther.
Wrong with it? It was so, like, it was like everything came to life in this. I mean, I do love a string section on anything. It gives me goosebumps. But my God, I felt just... It's a bit like getting the cat. I wasn't a cat person, and now I'm like, oh my God, what have I been missing out on in my life? Because she's literally one of the best things in the world, and so full of personality and clever and joyful. But going to see the folk music, it was almost like you opened a portal that I may never have experienced, and it was and it really enlightened me and made me think, yes, I must try things I don't normally do, or I must see things I don't normally do, because I didn't know I could feel like that watching music. And it's so wonderful. Visceral folk music, isn't it?
But I think, well, yes, but I do think that live music of any variety, when it's happening right in front of you and there's a direct connection between you and the music, because you're right next to the source of it. I think that's really special. But yeah, I mean, and the music that Sam has written and played was very much sort of straight to the heart, wasn't it? It was a really beautiful and kind of that. There was something quite hypnotic about it. There was something very dancey about it, actually. And I think that's where it's brilliant, isn't it? Because a fiddle can be quite poppy, and you can mix genres. And I think he's probably that slight mix of folk. There was quite a pop element, I think, to
It was
that
brilliant.
album
It was
playing.
brilliant.
Hiya, I'm Sheila. I'm the North's #1 entertainer of the Working Men's Club, grandmother of 12, mother of 4. I've won the accolade of #1 singer in the North of the Working Men's Clubs for the last 14 years. I started out as a singer with the Brotherhood of Man tribute. There were only 2 of us, but it still worked. And then I became a Kajagoogoo/Black Lace tribute act. And we did, 2 shy, hush, hush, eye to eye. And then when that went pear-shaped, I went round the Working Men's Clubs on my own, singing the great hits like Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree. And then I met my partner Frank, and we ended up doing a Wayne's World tribute, and I was Garth, and we did Bohemian Rhapsody, Where, Nowhere, which was a lot of fun. But then, unfortunately, Frank decided to go off with the young Debbie McGee lookalike and start a Paul Daniels act. So it was at that point that I decided what I really wanted to do with my life was be Rod Stewart. So I became the North's only female Rod Stewart impersonator. And it's worked out very well for me. I'm always regularly booked, so my time is divvied up between performing as Rod Stewart and looking after my grandchildren. So, it just goes to show, whatever you want to do with your life, you can do it, you can believe it, just achieve it. And if you want to come and watch me, I'm going to be at the Sheffield Working Men's Club next Thursday with Neil Thermal, Satsuma Hopkins as my roadie and my backing singer. I'll see you there, all right. Keep believing in yourself, cocker.
I don't always connect when there's live music on. I'm into live music thing and I think I'm a bit uncomfortable and this is going on quite a long time. Even though I love music, but I didn't feel that at all.
No.
It might have been the fact that we could sit down all night. Played into it.
Well,
I like a festival. I do like a festival, but also, I don't love a festival. There's sort of a bit of both, really. Basically, I want a nice bed at the end of the night and a normal toilet.
Yeah, I get that. And I think I do think about bands that are playing festivals all summer. I'm like, crikey. But they just get sort of, well, the really big ones, they just sort of get beamed in and out, don't they? They don't have to sort of do the queuing for the long drops. I could taste it in the back of my throat. The Glastonbury toilets. It'll never go.
I could only begin to imagine when we went a few years ago, went to Camp Calling with my girlfriends up here and their families, and the toilets. But Ian suggested that we did a photograph because there were enough toilets for all of us in a row. And he went, "Why don't we get a photograph where we're all just coming out the toilet door all in a row?" But we all said, "Great idea," but absolutely not.
I want to spend as little time as possible in this doorway.
Disgusting, isn't it?
What about? I'm just thinking because this has been the last few years, loads of bands seem to have sort of got back together. I think, or even solo artists have reappeared. In fact, I mean, one of our guests from season 3, the amazing Chesney Hawkes, has had a huge resurgence, and I think it's partly because he's excellent and still writing amazing music, and he's sort of. But there's also the nostalgia, isn't there? And that we're people of our age and a bit older. We're kind of looking back to the 90s or whatever and going, "I love that. Let's have some more, please." And then what's brilliant is that artists like Chesney can have new music and take them forward. But I'm just thinking about people like bands like Oasis, who have got back together, and it's an absolute phenomenon. Do you know what? People said they would never get back together. I knew.
Did you?
Yes, I just had a feeling that they would sometime get back together.
They
obviously need the money. But
yeah,
I just thought there's no way. I just didn't think that the world would go without them being back together again, and I didn't get tickets, and I was absolutely gutted. And I know not everybody loves them, but I do.
I do love them. I do really love them. But I was I didn't realise I was this moral in the 90s, but I remember the album coming out and me saying to my friend Louise, I refuse to buy the album because they're so arrogant and I'm not fueling that. And because I was really sort of, I didn't like the fact that they said that they were the best all the time. And I just thought, you're too arrogant. I am not funding you, even though I really like their music. But I do remember once being in the common room in sixth form and, and one of their songs came on, and literally the whole common room erupted, and everybody sang along to it.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful. And I love how music unites people. But I did also see on Instagram the other day something that was quite galling, which was somebody shared this, which was a video of a woman at the Oasis concert shazamming the song because she didn't know what it was, and they'd written on the video, "This is who got your Oasis ticket." Somebody who was shazamming the song because they didn't know.
Was that true?
No, it was true. It was literally they'd filmed somebody over her shoulder just shazamming it to find out what it was.
Fair enough in a way. Like, if someone gets a ticket, that's okay. They wanted to go. But yeah, I mean, she didn't get my ticket. I was 218,000th in the queue. I was way off.
Wow.
I mean, I was far more prepared for Robbie Williams. I was pre-ordered the album, got the code, was there 15 minutes before it went online. Oasis, I was just very blasé, and I just didn't have a chance. But now they've done this,
didn't have a full plan of action.
Didn't have a master plan. See what I did there? But next time they tour, I'll be there. But yeah, there's something, but it's not just. Because it's not just the fact that you just want to hear the music. There is something about music, a song that you love. It's so many other things tied up in it, isn't there? It's like the memories of a particular time. It's why if I saw them, I think I would just cry quite a lot.
I've seen a few videos of women of our age. Just what a girl. Yeah. Ella sent it to me on TikTok. It was a woman about our age, and her daughter was about Ella's age, and she'd gone to the concert and she'd filmed her mum, and her mum was just absolutely crying her eyes out. And because it's that time's gone.
Stop crying, yeah. Sorry, I'll stop.
Yeah.
But it is that. It's the bittersweet symphony, if you like. And Richard Ashcroft was supporting. Where am I going to start?
You're like a proper radio DJ today. Or Homes Under the Hammer, where they just link every song to the.
Do they?
Well, I just again, I don't watch Homes Under the Hammer, but I've seen so many piss takes of it, of the fact that every line that is said and then they have to go into a musical bit, it's always literally verbatim. It's the song that they choose.
That must be quite fun. I'd like to have that job.
Yeah, you'd be brilliant at it.
I'd love. Yes, it'd all be Oasis.
Yeah, but
yeah, there's something so. It's when I hear a band split up, it makes me really sad. And even if I'm not that bothered about the band, there's something. I just think that's really sad.
Knowing that chapter's gone.
Yeah, and that group has been split apart. It's probably perfectly, reasonable.
Well,
people just want to do different things. I always feel sad that Jason's not involved in Take That.
Yes, I think he's quite a quiet guy, isn't he? And doesn't want the.
Well, he's not appeared on anything. Will he ever? Will he ever?
I don't think he will. I don't think he enjoys that lifestyle. I really don't. Do you remember there was a rumour he was dating Catherine Tate a few years ago as well? They were seen everywhere together, and there was a rumour they were dating each other. I always thought that he wasn't of that persuasion. That was my guess. That he was. I
might have to Google that.
Yeah.
But yes, I'd still love to see. I still want to Take That to be Fiver back.
Yes, they are. Do you know what? I've been thinking a lot about this because everything's so odd now, isn't it? And the music industry is so odd, and it feels like it's quite hard for new bands to get through, and there's not as much money in things, and I wonder if it is that nostalgia that I mean. Everything from the 90s coming back. I don't know if in the 80s everything from the 60s was coming back, or in the 90s everything from the 70s was coming back.
I think just think back to the 70s nights.
70s nights for students, definitely. But were the bands from the 70s that had broken up reforming 20 years later? I don't know. It feels like there's a real influx of them and a lack of... I don't know, like almost like even films and television programs, they're bringing back so much of the old stuff. But I think that's because the new generations aren't really engaging in television and stuff. And the people that are watching it are our generations and older. And that's why, you've got Blankety Blank and they're bringing back all these sort of old shows.
It was a simpler time.
It was a simpler time.
It's when actually you had to buy an album to hear it. That's why when you say, you didn't want to buy the Oasis album. Well, if you didn't buy it, you weren't going to hear it.
Exactly. Now, or unless you record it off Bruno Brooks.
Can you play?
Yeah.
Bruno, I'm sorry. But yeah, you can stream anything, and that's the sad thing when I think about. It's like for example, I do stream a lot of stuff, but I will buy the album. So Divorce, the band that Felix is in, I've listened to their stuff on Amazon, but also I bought a special snazzy set that was a big LP and a CD and as well. Because and same with Sam's music and Bellowhead, people I really like, I want to support them. So I will buy the physical album, and Chesney Hawkes as well got a special LP.
Do you know what? That doesn't even occur to me that I can do that anymore. I hadn't even thought about the fact that I can buy the album. I have Apple Music.
I've got a cassette of Chesney Hawkes' latest album, because that's what the bands are starting to do as well. It's such a nostalgia for these simpler, not AI-related ways.
Tangible.
Yes, you could. Yeah, absolutely. That I have nothing to play it on. I haven't even got. I have got a CD player in the house, and I've got a CD player in the car, but I have not got a record player, and I've not got a cassette player anymore. I feel like I need to get these items back. I need to get a Ghetto Blaster.
I'll get you a Walkman.
I'd love a Walkman.
I'll get you a Walkman for Christmas.
Yeah, I'll lug that around.
Lug it, but they're tiny. A proper one with like just the little foam ears. In fact, we were watching that new Netflix series last night, Too Much, which Lena Dunham has written. And there's a bit where the guy plays music to the girl who's over from from New York, sorry. And he plays her music, a mixtape that he's made for her, and she listens to it on a Walkman. And I thought, there is a lot of craving for that, isn't there? And I did do the rather ironic thing of asking AI, what will survive with when all the jobs are taken by AI, and it said the creative jobs, because that's what people will want. They will want connection and community, and they will want to feel part of something, and that's what music does, isn't it? That's what concerts do. That's what, you know. And thinking of that woman crying at the Oasis gig, I totally get it, because I mean, I've known you since I was 11. I've been with my husband since I was 18. All of my girlfriends, all my mates up here, I've known them since I was 13. You know, most people in my life have been in my life since I was 13 years old or younger. And I can't equate that I'm changing or that I've aged. And then sometimes in those moments, like watching Oasis or whatever, you go, oh shit, that time's gone. Or when you see a celebrity come out and you go, oh my God, they're looking old. And then you go, shit, that must mean I am.
I know.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's hard to equate yourself with the passing of time, isn't it? But I think that if you can listen to those songs, and also, I mean, discovering new music is fantastic as well. And I love the fact that my kids like certain things. Like there's this program at the moment on Netflix, K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm not really into K-pop, but my friend Hayley's daughters are.
It's so good. And the music is so fantastic.
Is it?
And so we're listening to that at the moment. But then I'll put on, you know, a bit of Blur or whatever. Or so I was singing Embrace the other day. I actually and I've just discovered a band called Imagine Dragons, who've probably been around for about 30 years.
Yeah, they've been around for ages.
I know, but I didn't really know them, and I kind of love that epic music that makes me kind of want to jump up and down. But yeah, I mean, I highly recommend Divorce's music. It gets to your core, and they're such brilliant musicians with beautiful voices. It kind of ticks all the boxes for me.
And their first video, which I didn't realise, I was talking to Tiger, who is the singer, and they were saying that because they went to ITV Workshop like we did, but they went to Nottingham, the Nottingham group, and their first video, I think it was their first video, stars our very first guest on this podcast, Melanie Hamilton.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Did I tell you that on the day?
I think yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because I said, oh, Mel came on the podcast, and they went, she was in our first video. So just swings and roundabout circles.
Look,
you know, we're all related to Kevin Bacon. We're all related to Kevin Bacon. 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's Absolutely. 7 degrees of Melanie Hamilton.
You're watching the LifeSap channel. At least it's probably on in the background while you do something else. Coming up next, it sparks joy, which does anything but.
I'm Barbara Sparks.
And I'm Pamela Clagsworth.
Joy!
Oh yes, I'm Pamela Joy.
Welcome to Sparks joy. This week we're staying close to home. My home. It's a chance to rummage through my...
Gubbins?
No, my...
Tat.
No, Pam. Special items that remind me of past happy times.
Your collection of useless bits of paper that will be a right pain in the arse for your executors to sort through when you finally pop your clogs.
I'll never die, Pam. And anyway, I'm sure you've got a wonderful system for sorting my things.
Yes, it's called fire.
Memorabilia! So we can immerse ourselves in my memories. And also I can be in for the boiler service I've booked at 3:30 p.m.
You could definitely do with a service, Barbara.
Thank you, Pam. So, let's take a flutter on a declutter.
Barbara, I found a box marked Live Aid.
Oh, yes. 40 years ago this year, I was supporting Elton John on stage at Wembley.
What?
Yes. He hurt his foot, so I helped him on. Fully trained up member of St Elton John's ambulance, don't you know?
What's this hairy monstrosity?
Oh, that's Freddie Mercury's moustache.
Bit macabre, Barbara.
It's a copy. I was his stand-in for the sound check, Pam. Amazing how many people actually thought I was him.
How many?
None.
There's a thank you card from Bob Geldof and me Joey. You were quite something, eh, Barb?
I was something.
Hang on. It says, to George.
Well, George Michael didn't do much, and I lugged his massive can of hairspray round all day, so I thought I deserved to take a little token from his dressing room. So I took that card. And that man over there.
That's Andrew Ridgely.
Yes, he's no bother, and he sings Wake Me Up Before You Go to me every morning at 7 a.m. sharp. That'll be the boiler engineer. Back in a tick.
Quick, Andrew, put this moustache on and go out through that window. In fact, I've always fancied being in a Wham tribute act. I'm coming too. Freedom! I won't let you down. Andrew.
Pamela? Andrew? Oh, well, that's the end of the television phenomenon that was Sparks' joy. Another one bites the dust. Who wants to live forever? Me. I do. Right. Boiler engineer, man. How'd you fancy changing your surname to Joy? We've got some rummaging to do.
Today's guest is FELIX MACKENZIE-BARROW, singer, songwriter, and 1/4 of the band Divorce, one of the UK's most exciting new acts. Formed in 2021, Divorce have quickly carved out a name for themselves with their emotionally intelligent songwriting and unmistakable sound. Lauded by Six Music, they've quickly ascended and toured with the likes of Mumford Sons, Everything Everything and Bombay Bicycle Club, and this summer played their first Glastonbury. We talked to FELIX about the joy of songwriting, how he started out as an actor, what life is like on tour, and what it feels like to walk out to an audience of thousands. Welcome to the show, FELIX MACKENZIE-BARROW.
Well, let us begin. FELIX MACKENZIE-BARROW.
Hey.
Thanks for coming on Limited Time Only.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yes,
That's
thank
nice.
you. You are our first in-person interview.
Yeah, I'm honoured.
Which is, I mean, I'm never normally in such close proximity to Sue, so this is weird.
I've never looked you in the eyes before.
Yeah, have you guys just met?
We've just
Yeah.
met. 5 seasons, just met.
Yeah. You smell lovely.
Big moment. Big
Yeah,
moment.
it is.
Yeah.
And you're here with us, which is
Yeah.
amazing. And I feel glad that we've managed to grab you at this point because you've been all over the place.
Yeah.
And so the last, 2 months or 3 months of your life has been quite intense.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been getting up to, Felix?
So I'm in a band, and
Very good
we
band.
put
Divorce.
Thanks. We put out our debut album in March, at the start of March, and so we've basically been touring non-stop since then, and it's July now.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty full on, but it's been fun. And we've
everywhere,
got around
haven't
to a
we?
lot of places this
Yeah.
year. We did a few shows. We did a couple of UK tours, the tour of Europe, and then we have a tour in September of the US. But in that time we had some support shows with Mumford Sons, which was really cool in the US, and then a couple in Europe as well, which I've just got back from, and then it's like summertime, so festival season starts in like May,
Yeah.
So we've been doing festivals since then, and will be until October or whenever festival season ends. I don't really know anymore.
I bet you don't know what day of the week it is.
I don't usually.
It's Sunday.
Yeah, that
It's
is good
Sunday,
to know
just so
actually.
you know. Yeah, it's Sunday.
Yeah, there's not really any. I don't really set my clock by anything. It's all quite. It comes and goes, and I just kind of have to exist.
It sounds really free though. I mean, I kind of envy the fact that you're really living in the moment as opposed to Groundhog Day of getting up and doing the same thing every day.
Yeah, totally. There is that aspect to it, which is great. It's definitely creatively quite fruitful in that way. It's pretty tiring, and it means that my social life is pretty limited, or I mean, your social life just becomes the people that you're with. I'm lucky that I'm in a band, and I'm with people every day, pretty much.
Yeah, rather than a solo.
Yeah, which I think would be fun too, but in a different way.
Do you want to
But Well, when I first started playing music, I was always solo, and there are some times when I miss traveling around on my own. When you're traveling with a group of people, there's usually 8 or 9 of us in a van, and it becomes complicated trying to get breakfast or lunch, or and you kind of find yourself. It becomes easier to just do exactly what the whole group is doing.
Yeah.
But that means that your sense of self is heavily eroded.
Yes.
So I have to work quite hard to maintain that. I think, and you find pockets, but it's difficult.
Because I imagine everybody. I mean, everybody's got different dietary requirements now, haven't they? And that kind of thing. So you've just got to go with the consensus of the group. I never considered that you'd lose a sense of self with that, but of course.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and you're kind of always talking about the band and representing the band, and it's I'm lucky in that we all kind of want the same things and feel the same things a lot of the time. There's enough difference that it's fun.
Yeah.
Everyone works really hard for each other, which is good. But inevitably, you kind of don't get to make a lot of sort of decisions for yourself because there's a lot to think about.
Yeah. Well, I think that individuality is something that when I watch you guys being interviewed or your music videos, it is the four of you rather than the two, because obviously you and Tiger are the vocalists, rather than just you two front and centre, and what are the other guys called?
So Casper plays drums and Adam plays guitar.
But that individuality of the four of you, how does it work when you're doing a big tour like Mumford and Sons? Were you touring in this different buses then, or did you just jump in the Mumford and Sons bus?
No. I mean, I don't think the band are even in a bus, but I don't even know. But there's quite a few buses on that tour. But we're not in a bus. We were when we were in the US. I mean, we're I think by far the smallest band that was supporting them on that run. Which I think we're just so grateful that they took us on the road, because we weren't gonna bring any tickets in, or they just like the record.
So how did that come about?
So the first thing we kind of heard about it was that we were doing a session at Maida Vale for our album release. And we were rehearsing in the room, about to go live, and then I pulled up my phone and we had an Instagram notification saying Marcus had shared our song on his Instagram, and then later that night, people were talking to their people, and then
that's so cool for you.
So did your people get in touch with their people as soon as he'd done that?
I don't know. I don't know.
I know.
But it all happened quite quickly. and then they offered some shows, and we were like, of course. So yeah, because they were, I mean, all of the shows we did with them were at least 2 times bigger than anything we'd ever done before.
And what's that like?
Weirdly, like, doesn't feel, I mean, no, it does. I don't know how to describe, it's like, I think after a certain number of people in front of you, your brain just doesn't take in anymore. So the first 4 shows, which were in America, they were all, it was 2 nights in the same venue, 2 different venues, and they were all like 8,500 capacity, which was more than twice the biggest show we'd ever done. And then the show in Ireland was like 27,000, which was crazy. And then the show a couple of nights later in Verona was 15,000, but that was like in an arena, like it used to have like gladiators fighting. It was like an amphitheatre. So yeah, that was wild. I think in that venue particularly, like you really feel the sense of volume because the space. I mean, like because you can, I don't know, your brain can't really take in that many people. But yeah, so yeah.
And how about in terms of nerves and because I mean, I don't think, I don't know, most people I've ever performed is probably about 600 or something.
I've done 1,000, but that's.
Have you?
I think 600, 1,000 is more nerve-wracking than 15.
Because it's more.
Yes.
Because it's like.
Yeah. You can see the whites of their eyes.
Yeah.
That many.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have said that like a few weeks ago because I really thought that I'd struggle on those shows because we've done, like we did the Troxy in London a couple of times. We've done it a few times now on supports for, we were supporting the vaccines and we had 2 nights at the Troxy, which is 3.5, I think, and I'd never been in a space like that. And I think I had a really bad cold as well. You know, when you're in, you kind of feel like wherever your mind is, it's like an extra 6 inches back in time.
Yes.
So that was really nerve-wracking, and I always thought I'd struggle with kind of agoraphobia, because it's something I've kind of had anxieties around in the past, but like, I got through that show, but I wasn't comfortable.
Are they sort of on
It's quite
every side?
wide, it's like a big proscenium arch old theatre really, and it goes way up and way back, and it's very wide, and I struggled with that volume of space, but actually these shows have kind of changed that. I don't know what's changed in my brain, but I can handle it now.
It's interesting because they say the fact that you suffered with arachnophobia, it's slightly different.
Probably got some big spiders in
Yeah. Yeah.
But to have been suffering with that and then to give those performances, oh my god, that's huge.
Yeah, it's
isn't
a
it?
nice, like it's a strange. I always, because I used to do a bit of like acting, and I always struggled with stage fright as an actor. But I think the big difference was it wasn't my material. Like I was doing lines. I was like, I needed to get things right or get things exactly the way they should be. And I think that's what I struggled with. And actually playing your own songs, it's like, if I fuck up, it's fine.
Yeah.
And also, if I fuck up, the audience kind of like that. Like, I do genuinely, like, I've seen so many shows where people have, you know, fluffed a line or like missed a chord or, and the audience responds well, I think, because it's humanising. That's ultimately what they want.
Yeah, and also when you go to see a play, they're not coming to see you.
Yeah,
they're coming to see a story, and
Yeah.
if you mess up in that, it's
Yeah.
sort of, well, you've taken me out of the story.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I don't believe you anymore.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
went wrong, whereas they're
Yeah.
there because they've come to see you and your band.
Yeah, exactly. I always felt like locked into like the blocking of the play. Like I couldn't like move in a certain way, and then my body would just, I'd have like tics, like physical tics, that would get, they were quite bad for a while, and then I used to get a lot of agoraphobia when I was in like wide open spaces, like, and I don't get that so much anymore. But I think a lot of that is to do with just feeling more like I'm occupying my own body.
And it's creative control. It's
Yeah.
your work, and it's
Yeah.
your, like you say, you're in charge of it, as
Yeah.
opposed to
Yeah.
oh God, I'm going to get into trouble if I go wrong or something.
Yeah,
Like that.
and it's probably quite elastic as well, because there is a sense when you've released a song, I think there is a sense of that song no longer being yours. And audiences arrive at a show like with a certain thing in mind, and they want you to play a certain song, or like they want to hear certain songs, which is fair enough because they paid for a ticket. But I don't seem to struggle with that yet.
Yeah.
I don't get the same sense of like, oh, I need to, because for me, I think the beauty of what music is the like the imperfections and things. It's always been such a key part of what we do as a band, because it's not about getting things right or getting things like being virtuoso.
No.
It's more about being alive in the room and being human.
Visceral, isn't it?
I always think that music is the only art form that gets to your absolute core as a listener, probably as a performer as well, maybe. But as a listener or watcher of a music performance, it hits you right in the core, quicker than any other art form, I think. And yeah, that idea of perfection, I love it when I watch a performer and there's that humanness, and there's a voice crack or. And I realised that, because I always get really worried about performing music solo. I mean, I admire musicians so much, because I think you're really, it is, because it is such a kind of gets to the core that you're really bearing your soul kind of almost when you're playing it, and it's you through the instrument and your voice. But and I always get really paranoid about singing in front of people, especially. But then I go on folk weekends, singing weekends or whatever, and I watch people who aren't amazing singers. Like they'd never be doing what you're doing. But there's something so beautiful about hearing them sing, that it doesn't matter. It's a beautiful thing.
Connection, isn't it?
Yeah, and with that, people knowing your music, and when you perform, and people singing along to things.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. Definitely on like headline shows and festivals, like that is a really lovely feeling. It makes a difference as well, I think, when you do a big support and there are a few people there who know the songs already, and you're kind of expecting to have to really win people around, but if they know the songs already and they're singing along.
Yeah, what goes through your head when you look out and you see someone?
It's funny. I kind of barely even think about it. I think it helps sometimes. I can remember we did a show. No, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. But it does help. I'm just thinking about when the audience is like really on your side. But I think when people are singing back to you, I think that like it's a good way of knowing that they're there, and that there isn't this big disconnect.
And energetically, that must do so much.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you play to a crowd and they're like very polite, it's quite boring.
Yeah.
Because you're doing like, you do so many shows, and the crowd definitely feed the performance. And if you haven't got that to go on, it can be quite tough. But honestly, like some of the smallest shows we've done with like the fewest people in the biggest rooms, like spread out around this big room, have been made really great because people have been like really actively in it, or like really feeling the music or singing along. Like we played in a library in Blackpool, and it was not even anywhere near full. It was like 2 p.m. We didn't know what it would be like doing a headline in Blackpool. It wasn't somewhere where we knew a crowd, but there was like this kid with like earmuffs on, and he was dancing and singing along, and that was like, that made that show so lovely, or like things like that. Yeah, that's kind of a ramble, but
No,
Yeah.
but also it was reminding me of what you were saying about music being the art form that, that really hits people, and I think something to do with that, with what you were saying there, is the fact that we can get involved. If you go to the theatre,
There's
if
no
you watch a
formal-
film, you're
Yeah.
watching it, you can't get up and join in the speech from
Yeah.
Hamlet or whatever. But when you're performing, people can sing along with you, and they
Yeah,
can
totally.
be, they're in it. You're all in it together, and that's such a wonderful,
yeah.
visceral, energetic, connected community sort of experience.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
It like keeps shows. It's literally saved shows for us. Where like we played in Birmingham. We always have a really nice, like super nice crowd in Birmingham.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I can't remember what venue it was. I think it was in Digbeth.
O2.
No,
Okay.
it was a headline show, so it was like maybe 400 or 500 capacity.
Yeah.
And we, like, the first song, my guitar just cut out, and then like
spoons.
everything that could have gone wrong technically went wrong, and the crowd was so nice that it like saved the show.
Brilliant.
But there was a guy who stole some socks from the merch stand that night. Yeah,
Who
and
needed the
he stole, because we've been selling socks, and he stole the socks and then walked back into the gig to watch. And
Oh, so you saw him steal them?
well, our tour manager, who was on merch, saw him steal them and like got him out of the crowd and made him pay for them. And then he didn't leave or anything. He went back and
Oh
watched
my
the gig.
God.
Which that's some audacity.
That is so
I almost
audacity.
respect it. I
Yeah.
almost respect it.
Almost.
But stealing merch is pretty low.
Yeah, that is pretty low.
Because, you know, you don't... Well...
Yeah. I think what he said was, well, they're really expensive. And I was what do you think? We're not like a clothing shop. It's like
We
the
need
novelty
to
socks.
eat. Yeah. I can't get over, and this may be incorrect, but that it was 4 years ago that you were sat on top of a hill with your friends, and then you said, let's start a band, and 4 years later you've supported Mumford Sons, you've supported
And everything.
the Bombay Bicycle Club, the
Yeah.
vaccines, you've just done Glastonbury, you're going on tour around the States. I mean, that ascent is just...
Does it feel remarkable to you?
It does. It also feels like we needed it to happen. We needed that to happen because, like, so me and Tiger had a duo before this, and it was kind of that really got killed by COVID. We didn't see each other for a few months, and like the wheels fell off really. But we'd never made it out of our hometown, and we were both hitting stages in our lives where we were like, I can't keep pouring all of my time and not be able to like pay rent. I need to. So I think starting divorce was like, it was like a real, certainly for Tiger and I, like a real choice to like dig in and make sure that it paid us back in some way, or at least that it paid for itself. And it's like running a business, and I think we were pretty methodical about how we did that. It was chaotic because things happened quicker than I think we expected them to, but it's been very heartening, the stuff that has come in. It's complicated, there's all sorts of things that make it difficult, and the things that you think of as like the aspirational like bucket list moments and things are generally not the moments that you're like either most proud of or feel the most about. It's like it's more of the stuff along the way. It's more of the like problem solving and or just the little moments that happen when you're like in a van or in a service station or like in a hotel. And so like those, and I think it's funny because I rarely think about the big stuff, like you said, that has happened. I rarely think about that because I think I've had to train myself not to think about that, because if you put too much stock in it, that becomes what you build your like self-worth around. And I think that can get really unhealthy, and there's no way of guaranteeing that stuff keeps happening.
So like, loads of creative life.
Well, yes, because you're artists, and it's we always say it's actually the process. And the journey. I mean, songwriting as a process, and when is that something that you?
That's like the only reason I do it. Yeah. It's like it's the only reason I would be a musician, is so that I can write songs and record them. It's the bit for me that makes it all worthwhile.
Is it cathartic?
Yeah, but it's also feels really necessary to my brain function, or like how I interpret the world, or how I interpret what's going on in my own head, or like, and I think having the privilege and the opportunity to do that, and just do that, is amazing. And so like, but really like I love touring and I love playing shows, but like that stuff is the stuff that enables us to keep making albums.
And I guess the thing is, it becomes your normality, doesn't it? I was going to ask you if you were part of Central Television Workshop or ITV Workshop, because we both were, but I was talking to Tiger outside and understand that you were. But you know, creatively, I've completely lost my train of thought. What was I going to say?
Spiders.
What's it about spiders? No, just creatively.
Well, that was where we met.
Yes, that was where you met. But like you come from a very creative family, don't you? And so growing up in that kind of environment, I guess it's almost in your genes.
Yeah, totally. I think there's a good balance for me in terms of the way I've grown up, in the sense that like I've watched my parents run a business, a small business, and managed to raise a family and buy a house and like keep things going, like purely by doing art, really, which
really
is like
joy to hundreds of thousands.
And that's so rare. And I think watching them pour that much energy into the pursuit of creativity and performance is like, has been a real lesson, and has given me so many tools to like know how to like keep the ship tight, or like even mentally manage the strain of touring for long periods. Like I grew up doing that with them, so and also it's not, they haven't had a kind of big glamorous, it's not been a big glamorous creative life. It's been a real one that has managed to function and keep itself going and make so many people happy. And that for me is enough.
And I think, I know what I was going to say now, when out of my brain had a brain fart, but basically we were all part of the television workshop, and we know a lot of people that have been very successful. But I remember I was filming with Lucy Davis years ago, and she was Dawn in the office.
Right.
And when that was happening, I remember saying to her, "Oh my God, Lucy, like, you know, it's brilliant." And she was like, "Do people like it? I can't tell. I'm in it." And I think it really stuck with me, that did, because I thought when you're in something, from the outside, we're all going, "Oh my God, they're playing Glastonbury." They do, but it's just part of your career. It's brilliant, but it's just a lovely part of it. It's sort of normality.
Yeah, there are things that feel more normal than others.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it does feel like, whoa, this is really crazy, but usually that's quite scary. Like I think the thing that is tricky about it is I can relate to that feeling of like I'm in it, so I don't really know how it's going. because you have to protect yourself from the overly good voices and the overly bad voices. And so if like I was saying, if I put stock in how people think it's going, it's gonna really warp my sense of the project or my creative flow, because I don't want to be thinking about how people are going to receive the thing that I'm making.
Yeah.
Because when I'm making it, it needs to be its own thing that is just for me. And I honestly, when I'm making it, I don't care whether anyone likes it.
Brilliant. With a song, because you write a song and then you put it down on a record and then it's there. How I'm interested in, when do you know when it's ready? Because I think with a play, you kind of always tweaking. I'm sure Felix's mum and dad, Andy and Ellie, who run Odd Socks Productions, and they do fantastic family-friendly productions of, well, mainly Shakespeare, but lots of other things as well. And it's their 35th anniversary of Odd Socks this year. But you're always having talked to them myself. I know that sort of every night, like, should we try this tonight? But when you've written a song and it's down, when is that point where you go, this is ready?
It's usually when you run out of time. It's like it doesn't. Yeah. I mean, there's also different stages of readiness. So there's I think that's one thing that is pretty unique to making records. So our process usually is that me or Tiger will write a song, or we'll write one together. When I say a song, I mean like the lyrics and the chords, or like maybe it's got a bit of a fuller arrangement, but it's probably just from like scrappy little bits of recording. We'll make a little demo out of that and then bring it together as a 4, and then we have a slightly less scrappy demo that's a little bit more filled out, and then we'll do pre-production with a producer if there's time. You can overbake, I think, but we've never really had the time to overbake anything. So it's like, it really does kind of have to be, we work quite quickly, and I think that's quite important to the process. I wouldn't want to get bogged down in overdubs for like months.
No, because it kind of loses a sense of direction, don't you? Who produces for you?
So it depends on what's happening. But so on the first album, Drive to Golden Hammer, that was produced by Catherine Marks and was engineered by Richie Kennedy, and we did it in a studio called Real World in just outside Bath, and that was great because we'd done a couple of singles with Catherine, so we kind of knew how she worked, she knew how we worked. Then we had some pre-production on the album where we basically spent a week in the place where we'd written it and demoed it, up in Yorkshire, and really got a sense of the room, and then we were able to take that into the room and into the big room and make the record. But we really kind of tried to keep it sounding as much like the demos as possible, really.
I love the fact that you hear so many artists say, I'm thinking about how the audience will take it, I'm creating something for them. But you're saying, I'm creating something that I would want to put out there, and I think that's brilliant. Do you think it will be easy to hold on to that as you move on to your next album?
Hopefully it just gets easier.
Yes.
Like because I know that there are people who like our music, so and
got two of them right here.
and I haven't at any stage been thinking about how people will perceive a song whilst I'm writing it.
God, that sounds really freeing.
But I think that is you can't.
And so if that's worked so far, then it's like, why would it?
Well, they say the difficult second album, don't they? Because you have the success and then you go, shit, I've got to keep my audience happy, and then you can overthink it. So I think it's so brilliant that you're like, we're just going to keep writing what's good for
Yeah,
us.
I think like
It's key.
yeah, the key for us is just to keep doing it as long as we can, and I don't know. It's not like we've become like internationally, globally famous from our first record, so it's going to be a long road if we manage to.
Yeah, you want to
keep
keep
it going.
integrity,
So
don't you?
it's
If you want
like-
to do it forever, then you need to
Yeah.
keep that integrity. But you started out at the television workshop, which is where we did, obviously not at the same time. We're slightly
About
older.
20 years later.
Yeah. Did you want to be an actor?
I did want to be an actor for a while, yeah.
And you were in Little Women, weren't you?
I was in the BBC.
Did you meet Angela Lansbury?
I didn't. Different
that's
days. Yeah. Yeah, I was only on for one day. I did meet Maya Hawke,
Yes.
who's gone on to do a lot of stuff.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, I had one scene. My hair was very long and floppy.
Oh, was it?
I was wearing a suit and I was sat on a beach. It was a cool shoot. It was in Ireland, in Wicklow, and on a lake. I've lost track of the question.
And did you want to start?
I did want to be an actor. Yeah, I did want to be an actor. I spent a couple of years. So I spent a year on this like free training course with the National Youth Theatre called the NYT Rep. It was great. There were like 16 of us. I got an agent from that, and I did a couple of TV things and a couple of adverts, and then I just was not enjoying it. I was just like, I just didn't like it.
Do you think that's because you didn't have the creative control?
I think potentially
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I had any freedom, or, but also I felt like I was like getting super excited about doing things that I wasn't actually creatively interested in. Like,
Yes.
so like I was like, oh, I'm like really, really trying to get this part in this thing. And then when I broke it down, I'd be like, is the thing actually good? And I'd be like, no, it's not. Like it, I didn't, my heart wasn't in it, I think also because I'd grown up around actors.
You knew what they're a bunch of knobs.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like, not all the time, but like, there is
I was one of them.
No, but like, I think I found when I was like in rooms with loads of actors, I found that the atmosphere was pretty negative a lot of the time. I found that there was a lot of like kind of competition and like weirdness about stuff, and I think it felt like everyone was a bit frustrated that they weren't doing their own thing.
Yes, yeah.
And I think at that stage I started this duo with Tiger, and I was just getting distracted, and my agent was like, what are you doing? Like, you're not like, I can't remember, but like
You're not going to get the
You're not
Burger King
invested.
advert.
yeah, exactly. And I was like, I don't want the
Exactly,
Burger King
yeah.
advert. And so it's quite hard to make that kind of land well with your agent unless you're, a superstar. So like, I think, and then I was like, I can't hack London. I want to live in Nottingham. And then I was like, I don't want to be an actor. I'm waking up every morning thinking about music. I remember I got penciled for a role in Succession.
Wow.
I got like this close, and it was a tiny role, but it would have been more money than I'd ever been paid for anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I could find a way of putting some of that aside and recording an album. And then I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm trying to have two completely insane careers here. I miss the act of acting sometimes. I miss the act of like doing a play, and I'd love to do it again one day. But I would want to be able to go, I'm gonna be Hamlet. Go
You can start your own theatre company.
Yeah, I don't know. I miss it sometimes, but it's more just like it's more just the tiny moments when you're on stage.
Yeah. Do you think it's helped? Do you think having that acting theatre experience has helped with performing your
Potentially,
music?
I think it's helped me understand stillness. I would say I went to a youth theatre that was like pretty. They really drilled it. It was a youth theatre in Derby where they really like drilled this like, I guess it was Alexander technique, but I was like 15. We were all like 15.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was like a free drama club basically, but they took it so seriously, and kind of not. I don't know if I'd recommend it. But
It sounds
like,
a bit like
it was a bit harsh on kids, I think.
Yeah.
But there was a part of me, I think, that took a lot of that pretty hard teaching quite seriously, and what it did give me was an understanding of stillness that I think comes in handy now on stage. I'm not the most like energetic performer.
Not Mick Jagger.
No, but I do think I feel grounded on the stage, which is good, and I think that that comes from that really.
And there's a love, and I suppose it's not physical, but it's vocal. I think the precision that you and Tiger have in your harmonising, and actually I think what one of the things I love about your music is it's risky.
Yeah.
It doesn't go where you think it's going to go, and I love that. It's interesting and it grips you, and but I love the harmonic and the precision, and the way your voice plays. So and maybe there's something in that as well. That you can. I don't know. You're brave.
Yeah.
You're brave as writers and performers.
Yeah, I think pushing stuff creatively is where all the good stuff comes from. And also, I think, I don't know, like I have quite a loud voice. And I think that probably comes from like projection. Knowing how to project a bit, having some understanding of like vocal technique.
Who do you look up to? Who do you admire?
Ooh. It changes all the time. A lot of writers, a lot of the time. There's a writer I've spoken quite a lot about on this album campaign, because I think his writing has been a real crutch to me throughout the last couple of years, but a guy called Barry Lopez, who was a travel and nature writer, really, but also just like travelled all around the world and wrote extensively about nature and also cultures and trying to protect ecology and indigenous peoples all around the world. And yeah, so he is someone I really look up to and respect. Mary Oliver, poet, amazing poet.
I love her.
Yeah, there's a producer, guitarist called Blake Mills, who I think is incredible. But yeah, I always struggle to think of who I really look up to, because I think, I don't know, you build, I don't know. Yeah, I think you. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going.
We absorb so much, don't we?
Yeah.
It changes, and then you'll listen to things and think, oh, yeah, that was influenced by that. But you don't know, do you?
Yeah, or it's just certain things in certain people. Like it's not a whole person that you look up to, or you don't know that person well enough to look up to them. But like I would say that I've looked up to all of the members of the band, like for years, like in different ways. For different reasons, and like, that it changes all the time. Yeah.
Where did the name come from?
Divorce. Yeah. So it was like kind of still lockdown, early 2021, and me and Tiger were sat in the flat that we were both living in at the time in Sneinton in Nottingham, and we kind of had a big conversation about how Megatrain, which was a duo, needed to die, and we needed to rebrand and rename, and we took a walk to the local retail park that had a Costa and an Aldi, and we walked there, and at some point I think we were crossing a railway bridge, and Tiger said divorce, and I think that it just kind of stuck. It was like okay, 2 syllables, it's like impactful, makes it sound like we're a punk band and we're not.
Yeah.
It sounds much more like aggressive than
It's interesting because I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
I was thinking because in the end, band names, you want them to be actually brilliant that it's short. It's memorable. You remember it. But in the end, they don't mean that will mean your band.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's come
exactly.
to me because I always think about Oasis as a name because I mean it is a fruit juice.
Yeah.
But it's not, and we all know what an Oasis is. But when I hear Oasis,
When you actually
I
break
think
it down.
it's the band. It's not that
Yeah.
that
It's
word.
a terrible
means
name
nothing.
for a band.
It's ridiculous.
Well, so take that.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
take that. It doesn't mean what
doesn't.
it means.
Yeah.
We've come to the end.
But all the things you think of is like, that's a good name for a band.
Yeah.
It
You
would
can
be the
overthink it.
cringiest band in the world.
Yeah.
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 We're coming to the end, and that sounds really
Coming to the
Somber.
worrying.
Yes.
globally, maybe? I think so.
Well, and our name is limited time only.
Yeah.
Could be shorter. We need to.
No, don't touch it.
Only.
It's synonymous with what we
Okay.
do.
And we have started asking people. We should have done this from the very beginning,
know.
but we haven't. And the reason it's called limited time only is because we're on the planet for a limited time
Yeah.
only. What would you like? You're very young, but your legacy to be, if you could. I don't know. Yeah. Can be.
Well, we've got to
Big or
squeeze
small.
in, Felix. What do you want to achieve in your life? Big questions. Let's get existential.
Yeah. I think I'd just like to hope that I did good things that helped the world get better, but like it's so vague. Like I don't.
Well, you just want to put good stuff out. You're bringing
Yeah,
people
I think
together,
just
aren't
like
you?
just
That's
do
really
small good things and try and move with kindness and like try and do good everywhere I can. But I don't think I'm gonna save the world or.
No, but you're going to
Yeah.
leave it a better place.
I hope my bit of it will be a better place than when I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But
I think that's lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Thank you so much. You're our first in-person person. So
Yeah,
thank you so
honoured.
much for giving
Thank
us your
you.
time
Yeah.
and your really hectic, busy schedule as well. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
you.
Thanks so much.
Aww.
You have been listening to Limited Time Only.
We're back from our on-location record, and we're back in the studio. Esther, how do you feel after our first in-person interview ever?
I feel exhilarated. Do you know what? I was a little bit nervous when we started, simply because it was just a different environment and we're not used to doing it in person.
There were a lot more cables.
Oh my God, there were so many cables. But do you know what? I loved it. And there was something really lovely about having that in-person connection. And I mean, to sit opposite you as well. I mean, I don't normally sit opposite you, Susie.
But you know what?
You're somebody I met on Tinder once and we've never really met in person.
I know, so it's been wonderful
Or
to get to
Grindr.
know each other that way. And what I enjoyed most of all is not having to look at myself.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Because I always
absolutely.
my eyes are always drawn. It's difficult not to
Yes.
look at myself when,
Like a
when I'm
moth
sitting
to a
there.
flame.
Yeah. But yes, to actually look into the eyes of our guest, wonderful FELIX MACKENZIE-BARROW, who spoke so beautifully about, well, everything really. I loved talking to him. And I feel like we've kind of caught him right at the cusp of kind of superstardom, really.
World domination.
Yeah.
He was amazing, and he was so eloquent and
Thoughtful.
and I
wasn't
loved
he?
how he really thought about his answers, you know, and he was very generous. And we have to give a special shout out to his sister Charlie Mackenzie-Barrow.
We do indeed.
Who helped out loads backstage, and my husband who came along and drove us there, chauffeured us there, and did some techie stuff for
Made
us.
sure that it was still recording as we were nattering on. And Charlie, if you watched it on YouTube, the footage that you will see was filmed by Charlie, and she has been extremely helpful throughout the setting up this interview as well. So thank you all, Mackenzie Barrows.
Yes.
So it was lovely, and this is our final big episode before our summer break, and we'll be back in a few months. We're not entirely sure of the exact date yet.
It'll be September.
But we do know that we are coming back with some live shows. Definitely 2 in London at the moment, one of which is on sale already, which you may have heard at the start of the show. So go on to the Cheerful Earful website and you can book there. I mean, there's details all over the shop. If you sign up for our newsletter, you can get a direct link. I mean, it's infrequent and a manageable length.
And it's do you know, it's so exciting. I'm really excited.
You are exciting.
I'm really exciting. I'm really excited about doing it. It was in Balham in London, and on a Sunday.
There'll be one in Queen's Park as well later on in the year, which we're fixing up now.
So and then we'll be doing other lives, not just in London but in Birmingham, and next year's going to be a year of live shows for us, I think, isn't it? So it's exciting.
If you live in a place where you'd like us to come to, let us know.
A lounge.
Well, yeah, maybe. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
It would.
Small but perfectly formed, like an LTO brief.
Yes.
Well, here we go. I mean, this is still putting it out there. So genuinely, if you can think of a great venue near you that would be brilliant for a limited time only recording, then please get in touch. You've got our, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on the emails. Probably just message me. WhatsApp.
Yes. Messages via WhatsApp or send us an email. And if you've got suggestions for Series 6, oh my goodness me, Series 6.
Of the award-winning podcast.
It's been a great season. I've loved it. I've got a cat out of it. We've got an award. We've had some incredible guests. And we'll be back in the autumn with season 6, which is going to be bigger, bolder, brighter, and even better, hopefully. That's our aim.
That is our aim. So have a wonderful summer, and we will see you next time on Limited Time Only.
Pick me up. Podcast. Ta-ra bit.
Ta-ra.
Aww, that was great.